So if you want to avoid tyranny, then you need to assert your individuality. And if you're afraid to, voice your opinion on something because you're afraid of being deplatformed or cancelled, or killed in the case of the Crucible because of the witch hunt that was going on, that was the ultimate consequence, right? You actually die. I think it's in a weird way in today's society, you do kind of die. You die virtually. If you stand up enough, for what you believe to be true. I'm not saying that everyone who gets deplatformed, it was speaking truth, but they're speaking their opinion at least very often. And if they're deplatformed, they're kind of killed off because they're killed off out of the virtual world, which is a big part of the world. You have the physical world and the digital world, and they're both part of the world. And I think if you're killed off, on all the platforms and all social media, then that's an interesting idea, and you should all think about that. But it's important for you to be aware that, especially in this generation now, in your generation, right, in our generation, and I think we have a responsibility to defend the truth, to not even defend the truth, just to defend the right to speak one's beliefs, right? Because as soon as you stop speaking your beliefs and everyone's afraid, then you get tyranny, right? And the government will have all the control, or these big social media companies will have all of the control, and you won't be allowed to speak even when you want to. So we have a responsibility to defend our beliefs and to refuse to conform to certain ideologies that don't align with our values. Because what we ultimately want to happen is we want to be able to express our opinions, and if people disagree with them, we want to have a civil discourse about it. And the truth will ultimately prevail with that kind of system, right? Because the truth kind of works its way to the top when you discuss things, when you have rational actors. But no one's acting rationally in the Crucible. No one was acting rationally during 1950s America, during the Cold War, when people were afraid of being called a communist. If you're afraid of being called a communist, and that's all you can think about because you're going to be put in jail or you're going to be killed or something like that for treason, then you're not going to feel comfortable to speak the truth. And the truth is that the government had completely overextended its power, and it was trying to hold on to its power by making people fearful of the consequences of challenging their power. And that's the paradox. When the government gets greedy for power, they try to lock it up by making you too scared to even challenge them. And if you go and look at any dictatorship in the world right now or in history, that's exactly what happens. The people who challenge these dictators just get killed. So then no one challenges them, and then they stay in power. And that's the whole thing. That's what they wanted. They're not even a legitimate ruler. They're not even representing the democratic will of the people. They're not actually preserving people's freedoms, which ironically is often the reason that they're voted in the first place. So you need to be very careful of dictatorships and totalitarian regimes.